Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. How's it going? I'm excited to be here with you today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Audrey Faust, executive coach. And today I wanted to talk to you about motivating your team. So I was on a phone call a week or so ago with a potential client. I'm an 8-figure business. And when I asked him what his biggest struggle was, he said, Audrey, he's like, my biggest struggle is being able to motivate my team and get them to move all in the same direction and to grow my business. So today I wanted to come on here and talk about 5 ways to motivate your team and get them all moving in the right direction. But first, I wanted to share a little story with you about when I was an employee of a business. So a few, 5 or 6 years now ago, I was a controller for a small business. And in the beginning, when I worked for that business, I worked for that business about 5 years as an employee and as their controller. And in the beginning, things were different than they were towards the end. And in reflecting on like what motivated me in that instance, I started thinking about this story. So I remember when my boss from time to time would just come in my office, maybe once a week at least, sometimes more often. And he would just sit down in the chair that was always in my office. And I would just kind of stop what I'm doing and look up. And I was like, okay, like, how can I help you? And he would just start talking to me like I was his friend. So he would just start talking to me like, how was your kid's soccer game this weekend? How did it go? How did your boys do? How was your daughter's game? How did your boys do at golf last week? And he would just ask me personal questions. He didn't need anything. He didn't want anything at the moment, but he would just come in and start chatting with me. And, even when my mom was sick fighting cancer, he would often come in and ask how she was doing and ask how things were going with that. And guess what? Not only did this motivate me to do a good job for him because he cared about me as a person and who I was, it also, I could have never imagined leaving the company because I looked at him as a friend. And I didn't see him just as a boss. I saw him as a friend. And I always thought, God, there is no way in heck I could ever go into his office and give him my resignation. Never. The thought never crossed my mind. It just wouldn't be feasible for me to do that. But as you know, I am now working for myself, so things must have changed, right? And they did. They did change a little. The company started growing and he started getting busier. And I did leave the company at some point. And when I was thinking back about this situation, I was like, about this job, he stopped doing that. And I don't know why. I don't know if it was just time or he didn't really think about it anymore. But he did. He stopped doing that. He stopped just stopping by my office once or twice a week, plopping down in the chair and just starting a personal conversation with me. And maybe the conversation was 5-10 minutes. It wasn't that long. But it genuinely felt like he cared about me and who I was. And, I think about that often because, when he stopped doing that, I strayed from the company. And it had nothing to do with him not stopping in my office and saying hello. I totally forgot about that. But it became easier for me to see him just as a boss and less as a friend. So, which then became easier for me to leave the company. So, your team members are the same way. Like, we are all humans and we are just not workers. We're humans and we want to know that you care. And even if it's 5 minutes to have a personal conversation about what's going on in our personal lives, like, that matters. It matters. So, but today I'm going to get a little more into my story, or into my 5 ideas how to motivate your employee. I just want to share that story with you. So that kind of leads into number 1, which is have regular one-on-one meetings with your direct reports, even if it's like 10 or 15 minutes every week. Just make time to genuinely connect with them, and don't make it all about business, right? Add some personal touches in there, and you'll create that you really care about them. And I don't want it to be fake. That's not what I'm saying. Don't go in and fakely, act like you care about them, because they can see through that. But genuinely care about who your employees are and what their lives are like outside of your company, because that's going to make them care about you and your company even more if you care about them. So, and recently, I've been coaching someone around leadership, and the one thing I asked her was, are you having regular one-on-one meetings with your boss right now on a weekly basis? And she's like, no, I just send him emails and half the time he doesn't answer them. And that's frustrating. I said, okay. I said, see if you can schedule even like a 15 or 30-minute one-on-one meeting with him every single week and see if that improves things in that department. And she did, and it did improve things. So your employees just really want to know, and your team members, your staff members, they just really want to know that they're important to you. And that's one easy way to show them, by giving them a little bit of your time. So that's number 1. Set up regular one-on-one meetings with your direct reports if you don't have them now. And add a little personal touch in there. Talk about personal things as well as business. Recognize their efforts. This is so important, because your employees will work their butts off for you if you just do this, a little appreciation, a little bit of recognition. Again, they will like bend over backwards if you and recognize them. And make it public, not just personal. Have an employee of the month. One of my clients just recently introduced this. I mean, how amazing is that? And so easy. And at a team meeting, you can say, the employee of the month is so-and-so, and this is what they did. Nothing makes an employee feel more appreciated than recognition and giving them a little kudos for the things that they're doing. But again, you want to make sure all this stuff is genuine. So number 3, celebrate your company wins with your employees. Have a lunch. Hey, we just landed a big client thanks to my team. I know if you've put efforts in landing the client, or you'll be putting efforts in keeping this big client in the future, like, let's go celebrate this. Let's celebrate this big win for the company together. And celebrating together helps bond your staff together, whether it's a lunch or some sort of, depending on how big your company is, some sort of celebration. Let them in. Let them celebrate with you. Let them feel like it's their win too, not just yours. So that's number 3. So we got meetings, one-on-one meetings, recognition, celebrating. Number 4 is communicate. And oftentimes CEOs, they get busy. I get it. They got a million things going on. And communicating effectively and with your staff members often gets overlooked. You just get too busy and you forget. And They want, they want their teams to buy into changes. CEOs want their teams to buy into the changes that are happening, but oftentimes they don't explain why. And if an employee can see the big picture, if an employee or team member can see, oh, this is going to cause a little bit more work now, but it's either for the better of the company, or it's going to make my job easier in the long run, or it's going to make the company more profitable in the long run, whatever. Explaining that big picture by communicating to them is so important. They will then understand and buy into whatever it is you want them to buy into. And last but not least, giving gifts. And I'm not talking just about a gift card. I am talking about letting them know you care. And you can do this in many ways. You can recognize their birthdays, right? How amazing is that? How easy is that? You can have, if you have a larger team, you have an HR person, like make sure that they're letting you know when their team, it's their birthday. If you have a smaller team, you can put somebody in charge of that, right? And celebrate their birthdays in some way, shape, or form, depending on how big your company is. Give them a gift on their birthday. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be fancy, but make it a little personal, not a gift card, right? So one other thing, what really lights me up, I'm going to say, is I love watching my clients' businesses grow exponentially. And I'm internally motivated to do that. So I don't really need a lot of motivation myself in order to perform and to help my businesses and my clients grow their businesses. That is an internal motivation of my own. But many of your team members won't have that internal motivation, and you'll have to motivate them some other way. And I want to give you an example of how I received some gifts and what they meant to me along my journey. So a few years ago, I had my business. I was not a team member. I was an employee. I wasn't an employee. I was a CEO at the time. Still am. My mother had passed away. I guess it was like 2 or 3 years ago now. And when my mother passed away, one of my clients actually sent me a huge box of Omaha steaks. And, she thought that, oh my gosh, like maybe you have family coming in or something, and this will be a wonderful thing for you to have. And it was such a thoughtful gift. She could have sent me a gift card, right? But that's kind of, but she sent me a box of, she put a little thought into it, right? She sent me a box of Omaha steaks in case I had family members coming from out of town and I needed to feed them. I mean, what a wonderful gift that was for somebody that was dealing with the loss of a family member. Another time, more recently, I had surgery last year, and I was recovering from surgery, and one of my clients sent me this huge bouquet of flowers. And wow, did that brighten my day. I can't tell you how that, brightened my day, just receiving that. And now these were from my clients, but, it surely made me feel appreciated, both these gifts. And it wanted me to contribute even more to the success of their businesses. Even though I'm internally motivated to do that, I thought, wow, what amazing, thoughtful gifts that I received. And I am just going to even give more, right? So in summary, it's really simple. We're all humans. And if you want to improve any relationship, you can use these 5 tips, right? Any relationship at all. Time is meetings, one-on-one meetings, like you can have one-on-one meetings with any friend that you have. Spend one-on-one time with them, right? You can recognize their efforts if they do something for you in front of other friends. You can celebrate with them, you can communicate to them, and you can give them gifts. So if you kind of look as your employee, treat your employees as you would treat a friend, doing the same things, these 5 things can work to like foster any relationship you have, whether it be with your employees, your team members, your friends. All of these 5 things are great. Okay, we're back. Sorry. Technical difficulty. Never had that happen before. My camera just went black. I'm sorry about that. So let me just continue to say, like, these 5 things, I just want to reiterate them: meeting, recognizing, celebrating, communicating, giving gifts. So easy to help, ways to motivate your team members to want to not only create relationships with you, creating relationships with them, so they want to work for you in your business and help you in your business thrive. We're all just humans in this human world, and we all just create relationships in whatever shape and form. And, it's really simple. Create a great, good relationship with your employee, and that's what you need to motivate them. So thank you for joining me today. I see there are a couple of you on here live, and I love to hear your comments on this and what you think. Reach out to me. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.